Hello and welcome to the Clashing of Steel. So today I'm teaching you how to play Cavalry. Perhaps to be more specific, the Barbarian Cavalry. Seeing as the Roman, Greece and Barbarian Cavalry all work differently, I'm probably going to have to do another video on the Roman/Greece Cavalry. So anyways, let's head on with the Barbarian Cavalry. They are the fastest and probably the weakest cavalry, but they're excellent at hunting down ranged units. In most situations they are not good in head-to-head battles, they will get wrecked by most opponents, especially spearmen, but swordsmen as well. There are a few exceptions, like if the opponent is weakened you might go head on, but definitely not spearmen, or even pikemen. There are some exceptions, like if you can flank from both sides you can keep it dry, but it will most likely end in a lot of pain and misery. One more thing to remember is not to fight in the forests, especially the melee. You will lose a lot of charge benefits, you will lose speed bonuses. In overall you will be a lot weaker, and let's be honest, the Barbarian Cavalry needs a lot of its bonuses it has. For the commander we should probably have Arminius, because he gets a lot of speed bonuses and probably makes the most of the cavalry. Or you can try and play Vercingetorix and burn everything. There are a few things to note. For example, you shouldn't ride all three units inside one another. You should spread them out, because the charge bonus loses all of its benefits when units are charged from a comfort position. Or if you do want to send units in from one direction, you should probably do it one by one. So about the cavalry skills. For the cavalry we have the mount kick, which is quite decent. You probably shouldn't use it right after you charge. You should give a moment for the enemy forces to get up from your charging, and then activate it, knock back and probably disengage. Cavalry units also have the charge. The Arminius doesn't have a charge in his arsenal itself, so the units accommodate. For Arminius itself we have the frenzy, the momentum and the infiltration. Well, there are several ways to use them, of course. You can use infiltration just to get the charge bonus if you're flanking, or you can use it to get behind enemy lines. For the frenzy it should be probably used as flanking, or to kill ranged units really fast so that you can retreat from the opponent's melee. Definitely not use it head on, because it will lower defense. So the momentum is the last skill and it should be active at all times when you are moving. I'm actually supporting the idea that you keep moving if you have nothing to do, that you just won't let your unit stand. That way it won't be on cooldown when you need it the most. Here we can see some of the cavalry remnants running around, and I'm trying to disengage. I see the opponents coming from behind. They have turned around. There was a huge battle at that watchtower back there. I thought I could help, but as you can see they were overwhelmed and there was no point for me to engage. One of the important parts with cavalry as well is the patience. You can't just go in head on and try to annihilate opponents. You need to wait for the right moment, when the enemy is engaged, when their archers are defenseless, the moment that you can use for your benefit. So right now you can see me trying to maneuver behind the opponents. And there are even more reinforcements. Right now the battle is actually 50-50. We don't know yet what's going to happen. So to try and hold enemies away from engaging my units, I thought I might kite them around, but I fortunately see some archers who are defended by remnants of spearmen and who have just undeployed their phalanx. So this is probably one of the few moments I can charge head on. There were very little spearmen and I charged through them. So now I'm after the archers. Two of my units coming from that side as well, they aren't going to engage them, seeing as probably the opponents will turn around. Yes, they're turning towards me just to keep their archers alive, to force me away from here. And me being as gullible as I am, it works. So right now I'm just holding two of my units back, and seeing as the pikemen aren't very wise, I might as well use my units to play with them. And the archers are back in the game. I'm just trying to do as much as I can against the archers. If we get archers down, we only have the opponent's melee to concern. It might have not been the wisest move, seeing as there are a lot of opponents moving my way and I lost a little of my units. So anyways, the archers are pretty much down, and we have the pikemen to concern with. They are probably the most healthiest unit in this game. So baiting out the pike phalanx, great job from me. So you can see spearmen fighting here, but I make a bit wrong move back there by charging into the pikes. For a moment I thought he was turned around, my focus was a bit shifted. I lost a lot of my units, but no worries. These guys are afraid to turn around, and I make one of the typical mistakes I do. I go a bit too far, and then I'm going to return. As usual, it works out great actually, because now he's flanked on both sides. I was actually hoping the two units that ran into the rear unit back there that just deployed its pikes could actually hold him in combat and keep him from deploying the pikes. But no worries, I did a lot of damage. It was okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay. So now seeing that I really don't want to mess with the pikemen no more, I got my punishment, let's put it that way. I'm looking for another good position where I could strike from. So the main focus should be around the melee units back there, because those are the strongest units. They could probably use my flanking the most, sneaking past them and trying to flank them. So I ain't gonna go for that big healthy unit. I'm going to try and force these out as fast as I can. That way we can rout them and they can focus on other fronts. So what to note with the riders or the cavalry, especially with the barbarians, is that you should always try and go for the archers if you have a chance. You have to be patient, you should wait for the combat to get started, and you need the right position to maneuver yourself correctly. You can't go through spearmen or pikemen, but you can sometimes go head on against barbarian melee. It's also depending on the situation. You can also go and help flank your teammates when they're fighting other melee units, but it might not be beneficial to you because you will most likely lose a lot of units. Try not to fight in the forest, seeing as you have a huge disadvantage. Try to use your speed benefits to the maximum, find a place you can go through, you can utilize to flank or harass the enemy. It can sometimes be hard to find, but the best example would be the Marathon beach, where you could pass through the beach area into the bushes or into the forest. And never charge from a comfort position, meaning never charge from inside your troops, never move them in a mass. If you want to charge, send them in one by one and charge from a position out of other units. So this was it about the Barbarian Cavalry. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.